On Friday, the large landing ship of Project 11,711 Vladimir Andreev was launched at the Yantar shipyard. This is a new and long-awaited stage in the development of our domestic fleet. But why are such ships needed in the era of unmanned boats and drones? What tasks are assigned to these floating forts? And what else is Russia building right now? We'll talk about this, as well as the new hero of the week, right after a brief summary of positive news. The Soyuz 2.1B launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome and placed a Ministry of Defense satellite into orbit. In the Leningrad region, the lead electric vessel of the Moscow 2.0 project was launched, and in Kolomna, a floating clinic of the Project 132 was launched. PK. The Ural automobile plant has launched a new truck factory and 2 production lines for manufacturing components of leading drive axles. In Perm, the production of new models of centrifugal pumps has been expanded. In Primory, a fiberglass production facility has been opened. In Vologda, a machine-building enterprise has been launched. In Krasnodar, the production of waste processing equipment has been expanded. In the Penza region, a bio-waste processing plant has been launched. In Adagia, a corrugated products manufacturing plant has been launched. On Friday, May 30th, the Yantar shipyard launched the large landing ship of the improved Project 11,711 Vladimir Andreev. This is truly a long-awaited event, but to understand its significance, let's recall the background. The experience of the Great Patriotic War forced a serious reconsideration of approaches to naval landing operations. Western countries took the path of the so-called over-the-horizon landing, when the dock ship did not enter the range of enemy guns, but landed troops on small boats and provided support with onboard aviation. In the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, however, they came to the necessity of creating universal warships capable of remaining combat-ready for a long time. As a result, several implemented projects of well-armed landing ships with a displacement from 4,000 to 14,000 tons were created. And they turned out to be extremely in demand, though not for their intended purpose, but as military transport ships. After all, the Union had numerous military bases abroad which were most conveniently supplied by sea. Such relentless exploitation led to the fact that by the end of the 90s, a significant part of the fleet was scrapped. And Russia faced a serious question: what should replace it? The country changed, and so did the concept of using the fleet. Based on the new requirements, Project 11,711 was developed, and in 2004 the lead ship named Ivan Gren was laid down. They planned to launch it in 2008, but it was only launched in 2012. And during this time, it underwent many changes, since there was no final understanding of the concept right away. Its armament was sometimes strengthened, sometimes reduced, sometimes stealth technologies were added, and even after completion, changes were still being made to it for a long time. All of this was so complicated that at some point, someone had the bright idea to stop struggling and just buy Mistral-class universal landing ships from France. That's what they decided, but fortunately they didn't abandon their own efforts, because in the end, in 2014, the French refused to deliver the purchased Mistral to us, and soon the so-called Syrian Express reached full capacity, which made the problem of a shortage of landing ships even more acute. That's why, in 2015, the second ship of Project 11,711 Pyotr Marganov was laid down, taking into account the teething problems of its older brother. And then events started to develop rapidly. The war changed and adjustments had to be made again. That's why the next 2 ships began construction in 2019 based on an improved design with an increased displacement of up to 8,000 tons. Now they will be able to carry up to 40 armored vehicles, up to 400 paratroopers, and up to 5 helicopters. Actually, the first of these was launched on Friday, while the second one, named Vasily Trushin, is under construction and will be launched in 2026. But this is just the beginning. At the launching ceremony of Vladimir Andreev, the commander-in-chief of the Russian Navy, Admiral Alexander Moiseev, stated that the new armament program may include 10 large modernized landing ships of Project 11,711. They are being designed taking into account the experience of the special military operation and are equipped with modern navigation, detection, and electronic jamming systems, aerial and maritime drones, as well as all-around protection with AK-630 cannons and heavy machine guns. That's great news. However, at the same time, we also need larger landing ships for the Far Sea Zone, ones that can fully replace the Mistrals we didn't receive. We're building those as well. On July 20th, 2020 at the Zalev shipyard in Kerch, 2 Universal landing ships of Project 2390 Ivan Rogov and Mitrofan Moskalenko were laid down, each with a full displacement of 40,000 tons. Each is capable of carrying an air group consisting of 20 helicopters, including reconnaissance and attack, K-52K drones, 4 landing craft, up to 1,000 Marines, and up to 75 units of military equipment. In essence, this is a real floating fortress with tactics for over-the-horizon amphibious landings similar to those used in the West. In 2028, the first Universal landing ship will be commissioned, and after that, a decision was made to continue the series. Thus, despite all the significant difficulties and delays, Russia stubbornly continues to rebuild its amphibious fleet, regaining experience in shipbuilding and adapting to changing conditions. But why do we need this? The very necessity of such a fleet is questioned by many. Well, what shores are we planning to land on and in such numbers? After all, we were even forced to leave Tartus in Syria. Isn't this a waste of money? If you think not just about immediate benefits, but about the long term, then it's not a waste at all. Even though we left Syria, we've significantly strengthened our position in Africa, where our military bases may soon appear. Niger, which recently expelled the French, has expressed interest in this, as well as neighboring Sudan, the Central African Republic, and Libya, which borders it. Earlier, Andrei Belousov confirmed that work is also underway to establish civilian ports abroad, with 12 sites in different countries already identified for this purpose, most likely in Egypt, Algeria, Senegal, and Tanzania. As you can see, we have very serious plans for Africa, and if they are implemented, we will really need a lot of new ships. Floating forts are not needed for a picturesque landing on the beach, but to provide logistics, remote deterrence bases through a show of force, as well as purely humanitarian missions. For example, evacuating compatriots from hotspots or areas affected by natural disasters. As for their protection against modern drones, no matter how many resources we put into them, it will never be enough. For this reason, such ships always operate with protection, which we are currently working on modernizing as well. So the most interesting part is still ahead. We will keep you updated on events and future episodes. In general, to truly understand what is happening in the world, to see the connections and logic, you need to know more than what is available from open sources. A month ago, we launched a subscription-based private channel where we analyze the current agenda and the fundamental reasons behind what is happening. This week, we released an article analyzing the prospects for the competitiveness of Russian aviation, as well as a video answering the pressing question, why does Russia sell weapons to other countries? During the special military operation in 2024, Russia fulfilled all its arms export deliveries and remained one of the leaders in the global market. Some people are puzzled. We're conducting a special military operation, yet we're giving away valuable weapons. Why?